Namaste everyone, I am Nandini Mouli, coming from the GTV Networks MHC channels. This is up close and personal show where we showcase the talents of local artists, visiting artists and professionals established in and around India as well as in North America. Today I'm very delighted to bring to you a very famous Carnatic musician from Chennai, Isai Peroli, Mrs. Gayatri Vengatraghavan. Gayatri, I'm so happy that you could join us at the studios of GTV. I would like to talk to you a little bit about your upcoming program in the Washington DC area. You're coming there on April 6th to perform for the Sri Bhaktha Anjaneya temple. As a fundraising concert, you will be giving the Sri Rama Anjaneya Vaibhavam program. Can you say something about the concert? And before you mention anything about the concert, could you also tell the viewers a little bit about your lineage in the Carnatic music world? I've seen you come to this event, Sri.Thiagraja in the Cleveland Aradhana festival, year after year, and your fame, your followers have only gone up and up and up. I consider yourself as the up-and-coming Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi herself. Your music, your voice, your padandaram, everything has been so soothing for people like us, veterans who are coming just as listeners, just as connoisseurs of Carnatic music. So I'm extremely happy once again that you could come to the Washington DC area next week on April 6th, Gayatri. So could you say something about your background in Carnatic music?
Thank you so much, Nandini, first of all, for this warm welcome. And when I was asked for this concert for the Rama Bhaktha Anjaneya temple, I accepted immediately because Anjaneya is my Ishtadevam. And you know, whether I miss any other prayer or not, I take up Hanuman Chalisa every day. And I've noticed that every time you chant the Hanuman Chalisa, things become so much easier in life. So that is why, you know, I was very excited about this concert. And about my lineage, I come from a non-musical background. Both my parents or my grandparents, none of them have been performers. So we could call me a first-generation musician. And I'm here doing music only because of my parents, because of how they persuasive they were about me to learn this art. And I think down the line a little... when maybe I was a teenager, I picked the threads and I realized that I just loved this art form and I was so passionate about it, and so that's when I started working seriously. And I've been fortunate that after my wedding, my husband has been so very supportive.
Absolutely.
So I learned initially from Mrs. Padma Veeraraghavan. She is a disciple of Palgat Sri K.V. Narayana Swami, and following that I have learned a few kritis from Srimati Rukmani Ramani, who is Papnas Mishwan's daughter. Then I have learned under Sri A. Sundareshan, Mama Vidwan Sri A. Sundareshan, who has also visited Cleveland. He is a disciple of Ranmar Krishnan and Alathur brothers. And of course, after that I went on to learn from Sri P.S. Narayana Swami. I still learn under Padma Bhushan Sri P.S. Narayana Swami after my Guru Sri A. Sundareshan's demise. I learned from him. So that is as much for my background in music, and I'm here today only because of my parents and my gurus.
Absolutely, absolutely. You had...
And Almighty's blessings, of course.
Absolutely. The entire group of gurus you mentioned, they are certainly the illustrious group, I would say. Papadas Shivan's daughter, Mrs. Rukmani Ramani, is also my aunt. She happens to be my aunt, and they follow very rigid padandaram, and having come from her style and blending it with other styles from...
primarily my style is Sri K.V. Narayana Swami, because I primarily have learnt under Padma Veeraraghavan Mami. And of course, my Guru Sri Sundareshan, he belongs to the Ranmar Krishnan Bani. So both of them are very similar. And of course, my Manasika Guru is Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi, and I always look up to her. She's like a goddess to me. And I think she was an avatara, because at any point of time in the world, if you look at what music is being played, there is some house that is playing her music all the time. So I don't think any other musician can claim that. from any other form. I don't think anybody else can claim.
Yeah. Yes, she was a gift to Carnatic music world, no doubt about it. And now I'm glad that more people like you are following in her footsteps in terms of showing not only the music scholarliness, but also the divinity that she brought. I see that, I hear that, I feel that, experience that in your music also, Gayatri.
Thank you so much.
So excited that you are going to be in Washington, D.C. Tell me a little bit about the theme that you have chosen.
And we've taken up Rama Bhaktha Hanuman because this is Anjaneya temple.
Yes.
And because they say that wherever Ramanama is heard, there you can see the presence of Hanuman. So I would be focusing on Rama because I think Hanuman would prefer us to be singing his praise rather than his own praise. So more kritis on Lord Rama and some vrittams, and I'm hoping that it has to be a very spiritual journey. The concert itself, I hope
it would be. I'm sure it would be, and it's a very good contribution from your side, Gayatri, because the temple is just coming up. We are going to break the grounds shortly, and all the groups that are supporting the temple, Hindu American Community Service Incorporation, where I happen to be one of the directors, the other organizations, community service organizations, GSS Temple group and so on. We are all very delighted and at the same time praying that the temple would come up without any hurdle, and this is one of the fundraising concerts that you would be performing for the temple. And thank you so much on behalf of the temple and Haxi and all the organization for you to be involved in that and help us in the temple growing through your music.
Absolutely.
And we would also like you to come again and again, Gayatri, to Washington DC, to this temple and other organizations, and be part of our community. Thank you so much for doing this interview also.
Thank you.
Namaste, viewers. You heard from Srimati Gayatri Venkatraghavan about her performance on April 6th. To know more about this, please go to sba.org or Sri Bhaktha Anjaneya Temple. You can Google it, get all the information. We have also been sending information about how to pay and register and be part of this organization. So do join us on April 6th. The concert would start around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and stay tuned for more information about that also in the sba.org websites. Once again, this is Nandini Mouli signing off for Up Close and Personal, the GTV networks. Good morning. Namaste.